Alright, hey YouTube, thanks for coming back. Doing another, I guess they're discussion kind of videos. Just one of the ones where I'm talking about some of the stuff I've been studying with the Lord and the Bible and things like that. So today, I was going to do just one, and I really realized that they're really connected. Um, so we actually be talking directly out of a couple passages of Scripture. And the first one is Nehemiah, chapter 4. Be verse, hang on. Yeah, so starting in about verse 13 is where this is going to be based out of for there, as well as First Timothy chapter 5, verse 8, starting in verse 8. And one more that I'll get to when I get to Timothy. So let's start in Nehemiah. So in this section of Nehemiah, they've gone back to rebuild the wall around Jerusalem and rebuild Jerusalem as a result. If you know anything about the cities of that time and the countries of that time, if you didn't have fortified cities, you're extremely vulnerable. So to not have a wall around your city is basically a death sentence. At this point in Nehemiah in chapter 4, they have found out that their enemies know what they're doing, they don't like it, and they're saying that they're going to come in, sneak in, and kill them. This is where I'm sure a lot of you, if you've heard any of the Bible stories before, have heard that they built the wall with one hand and they carried a sword in the other. There's actually a section here that also says that those who labor did so with the sword on their hip. I guess there's actually a fourth passage that I forgot to mention. In Matthew, I believe it was Matthew. Anyways, I'll put it in the description. It was Jesus talking to the disciples. He tells them, "He who has no sword, sell your cloak and buy one." He's sending them out on their second missionary journey and stuff. This all before the crucifixion and all that good stuff, right? Um, and it made me laugh that back in the Old Testament, God already made a reference to the importance of defending your family. Because one of the things that it mentions here in Nehemiah is the men built built and protected the section of the wall in front of their house. So they were literally working near their homes to ensure the security of their family in the present moment and for the future. And to me, that speaks very much so to also Christians needing to be prepared for whatever life throws at them. So that's, being financially wise, that's having food and water stocks, that's having defensive tools, skills, and knowledge, um, being physically fit. I'm working on that myself, so I'm not trying to preach at anybody or anything like that, but it's something that we all have to be mindful of and actively working towards is to be the best, especially for men, defenders we can be. We see that all throughout the Bible. And the other section that I wanted to talk about a little bit when First Timothy chapter 5 verse 8. I'm going to go ahead and read it real quick. So it says, "Anyone who does not provide for their relatives and especially for their own household has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever." I had forgotten about this passage of scripture until I was watching a John Lovell video from Warrior Poet Society. I love his stuff. And he had mentioned it because they were doing it might be on their YouTube, but I also have his streaming service, and it was in their tavern. I can't remember the name of the show, but it's the John Lovell show where they're talking about stuff. And this one, they were talking about prepping on a $4,000 budget, and the other guy on the show, he asked John, he goes, "So when does the Christian ethic kick in?" And I love John's response. He goes, "Well, the Christian ethic doesn't kick on or off, so it's always there." And he quoted this verse, reminding me of it, in reference to how as a Christian do you reconcile uh, being called to take care of people and not being able to take care of everybody, basically? And it was a really good discussion. Really got my mind going again, which I loved. Um, I love doing thought experiments. If y'all do, that's, you know what I'm talking about. But it also got me thinking about in 1 Corinthians 16, verses 13 and 14, where it says, "Be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong, and let all that you do be done in love." And to me, these verses go hand in hand in driving home the fact that, especially as men, as Christian men trying to live as God has called us and intended, it is our duty to provide and protect for our families first. Once we do that, then we can now go out and take care of others. But if I have not provided for the safety and longevity of my family, I cannot take care of others. I've explained this to other people before in conversations that I've had, um, at work or something like that. People find out that I'm into prepping and things like that, and they go, "Well, I know where I'm going if the world ends." I tell them, "If you show up, I'm gonna shoot you." And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be a badass or anything like that. I have limited supplies. I can't take care of everybody. I want to. I genuinely want to, but I can't. It's not practical for me right now. That being said, I have my family and my adoptive family, like the people that are in my life as family, they all know they have a place with me. So I work very diligently to make sure I have things for them in the worst case scenarios. With that being said, the call of believers to go and make disciples of all the world doesn't end just because the world's ending. So my other priority is making sure in the good times, like we see in the story of Joseph, who interpreted Pharaoh's dreams, Pharaoh's dreams, and saved Egypt, and they took the 7 years of plenty and prepared for the 7 years of famine, and they saved themselves and the people of Israel as a result as well. That reminds me of my duty to not just go, well, things are good now, so I'm good, but to be diligent in putting things to the side so that in the future, if things go bad, when things get hard, my people are still okay. My family is still okay. And we then can now go out and make sure other people are okay and continue the work of the Great Commission without neglecting our first responsibility. Um, I firmly believe that ministry is something that all believers do at all times. This is not like a clergy thing. This is not a pastor thing. This is a Christian thing. So we all should be doing ministry at all times, which means that I need to be providing in an active way for my people so that we can continue to always be a blessing. I do firmly believe in saying a blessed to be a blessing. God's not just giving me stuff and not giving me insights and wisdom so that I can hoard it for myself and only take care of me and mine. No, He's giving me that so that I can take care of me and mine, and I can continue the work of reaching out and go, look, God showed me this was going to happen so that you could be okay too. So now I have enough where my family's okay, and here's some extra. Now your family's okay. And I can be God's hands and feet in this world. And that's something I do believe that a lot of Christians don't understand. I know I mentioned this in another video, and I was talking about the post that I've been seeing on Facebook. Sorry, I'm going to take a drink real quick. But the post I was seeing on Facebook where they were talking about like God didn't give us the book of Revelation so that we build bunkers and hoard food, but it's so that we build bigger tables and bring more people to Him. And those posts really irritated me because it's not an either or, it's a yes and. Because when the bad times come, and bad times will come, it's promised, persecution will come, things will get bad. They live in a fallen world that's going to continue to degrade until Jesus comes back, okay? All understand that. If I spend all of my resources in the times of good just providing for people, I'm being neglectful. Because when the bad times come, I know they're going to come. They don't know they're going to come. They haven't read the book. They don't know the prophecies. But I do. So then that becomes my responsibility to bring them in so that they can begin to prepare for themselves as well. So that's one less person that in the times of bad that I'll have to prepare for. But also to be ready and when the times get bad to still have the resources, the knowledge and the skills to help and bless others, to show them God hasn't forgotten you. God still loves you. There's still time. Come back. Turn to your Father. All of the good Christian words and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So this video is also a little different than a lot of the other ones I do. And if you've made it this far, thank you for staying with me. I know a lot of my other videos, I get really ranty because I'm passionate about this stuff. And a lot of it seems very stern and rebuking. And this one, I really don't want to be that way. I want it to be an encouragement for those of us that are prepping already to continue down the path and to continue to lead the way in this. I do hope that if you see this video and you haven't been doing one or the other, you haven't been reaching out to people now, or you haven't been prepping for later, that it stirs something in you to continue the work that the Lord has put in front of us. Because it's not the government's job to feed people. It's not the world's job to take care of the broken. That's our job. We know who can fix them. We know the great physician. He mends more than the body. He mends the heart. He mends the mind. He mends the soul. So we have that access. We need to be setting the table in more ways than one for people to meet him. And everything that we do is to bring honor and glory to him. And we're human. We're going to mess up. The difference between being hypocritical and being human is a hypocrite pretends that they never fall. Human recognizes that they do and continues to work to do better, to not fall as often, to grow closer to the heart of the Lord, as we are called to do. We are called to imitate Christ. That's what Paul says in the epistles when he says, imitate me as I imitate Christ. He's not saying do what I do because I'm awesome. He goes, no, I'm trying to chase God, so you don't know how to chase God. So follow me and learn how to chase God. That's what we all are to do. I'm gonna stop this video here. But anyways, this is why I carry daily. This is why I prep the way that I do. I want to be able to answer the call no matter what it is. I'm going to do a video here soon on my EDC, like what I actually carry every day, and try to give some ideas and encouragement on different things that maybe may help you. But yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in. May God bless you and keep you. May He make His face to shine upon you in the light of His countenance. Peace.